What's good, y'all? It's your boy Third Degree. We're back with more Ratchet news. Well, some of it's Ratchet, some of it's not, but we still gotta speak on it. So let's go.
So talk about Ratchet. Popeyes drops a McDonald's diss track because I guess apparently McDonald's is releasing a new chicken wrap, and Popeyes is claiming to be king of the chicken wrap, and so they used AI to create a diss track. And you hear Wendy's even saying, "Hey, can't even write your own diss track, huh?" It's crazy. What's up with these restaurants? This marketing stuff is going out of hand. Moving on. Shout out to LA Mayor Bass for signing an executive directive to help immigrants. Calls raise display of force. You know what I mean? At least she's trying to stand up to Trump. You know what I mean? So we give her props. But moving on. Speaking of Trump, he questioned Liberia's president, saying, "Such good English. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully?" Which then left Liberians confused and angry after Trump's condescending praise for your leader's English. Let me put this in English so you guys understand. He thinks black people are beneath him, especially Africans. He doesn't like you. What is there to be confused about? You know what I mean? That's just Trump. All right, we get it all the time. The ones who are below a certain tax bracket. You know what I mean? But moving on. Gervonta Tank Davis is reportedly arrested for domestic violence. You're supposed to take that aggression to the ring, use it against men in the ring. Whatever she's doing, just bite your tongue, wait, schedule a boxing match, and then beat his ass, not hers, bro. Come on, let's get it together. Moving on. T.I., Tiny, and OMG Girls punitive damage when cut to $1. I think at one point it was like 170 million, then it got cut to 75 million, but now it's like to $1 because they couldn't prove something. I hope it's not true because I want to see them win, but hey, $1, I would just toss that. Moving on. Men who lose their jobs and experience financial instability are 33% likely to be cheated on once the instability shifts relationship dynamics, study shows. Man, that's crazy. We'll talk about this at a later date. Moving on. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell, who is engaged to Coco Jones. Bro, you got yourself a bad one. She can act, sing, and she just seems like she's cool. May blessings continue on both of y'all, and when you have a healthy marriage, salute to both of y'all. Moving on. Thugs, not my words, but thugs use dynamite to blow up grave and steal jewelry from an op who passed away 27 years ago. I mean, what's wrong with getting a job? Moving on. Android sales are growing 50% more than iPhone sales. I mean, you try to tell y'all stubborn heads, but y'all don't want to listen. Shout out to my Samsung Galaxy Ultra. You know what I'm saying? 25. So, you know what I mean? But it's just me. But moving on. We all can't be great. Moving on. Red Lobster CEO addresses the viral seafood boil controversy and announces updates. And that was quick. Literally after a week. And so he's pretty much adding sausage, Old Bay, Parmesan flavor, seasonings and flavors that us black people associate seafood boils to. Come on, bro, you're black. Introduce the white folks to some flavor. You know what I'm saying? They'll probably have repeat customers, huh? Moving on. There's a man claiming to be Jay-Z's son, and so he actually has a court date July 18th, and Jay-Z must respond, but Jay-Z's responding back saying that he is not his son. So, I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think Jigga has a son? I don't know. Moving on. A list of U.S. cities with the most beautiful women is going viral. And they got Miami number 1, LA number 2, New York number 3, Vegas 4, and Chicago 5. All I know is that Atlanta is 13 and needs to be within the top 2 or 3. That's just my personal preference, but hey, we has to have been to 13 of these cities. But moving on. Faith Evans is sued by Voletta, Wallace's estate, for allegedly hoarding proceeds from a $100 million sale of Notorious B.I.G.'s catalog. Who's part of Miss Wallace's estate? You know what I mean? Because if the grandchildren are, I think they have their own estate with Biggie. I don't know how this is going to work. I need more details. We'll look into this. But moving on. Shout out to my favorite wrestler in the whole wide world, Bret the Hitman Hart. Not only for wearing a Raiders shirt, but for him loving chocolate. And I'm not talking about the cake. Moving on. Hey, yo, I see Cuz every day on KTLA when I watch the news. And don't he do like an evil sock puppet? You know what I mean? No diss, but he needs a better picture. You know what I mean? I don't trust the cat just from his look. But that's just me. Moving on. But speaking of evil, don't she look like something out of like It? Or, like Saw? But Gary Coleman's ex-wife fails lie detector test about his death. And I wonder if she's going to face charges. You know what I mean? Or I wonder if karma's going to get her. But moving on. Jonathan Majors checks man for boldly asking for his wife making Good's number as he should. Salute, King. Salute. But I kind of don't blame the guy for trying to shoot a shot. But dude, come on, respect. Moving on. They're saying that raising a child in the U.S. now costs over like $400,000. Jeez Louise. Almost $500,000. Hey, moving on. Shout out to Devin George, who's building a factory that makes prefab homes for low-income families. The factory will also create jobs for 315 people when it opens, with wages starting at $31 an hour. Salute to him, an ex-Laker. Moving on. Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us is not eligible for RIAA Diamond certification, and that's right. But with that being said, Cat Williams says he's been a top 3 rapper from his first project, and I agree. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cat Williams and shout out to Kendrick. K-Dot, the king of the West Coast. And so his verse on the Clips album. Moving on. Speaking of rap, I don't know who cuz is, Skepta. This is Joyner Lucas on new song. Why you rap like you studied at Harvard? I guess, when did it become an insult to be smart or to be Harvard educated? You know what I mean? It shows how dumb that nigga is. But moving on. Love and Hip Hop's Atlanta star Amy Luciano files for divorce from Dwight Howard after just 6 months of marriage. Sis, you ain't caught the memo? Moving on. TSA to end shoes off policy at many U.S. airports. About freaking time. Moving on. They killed that rumor quick. Janet Jackson and Maxwell caught holding hands at a Cabernet. You know what I mean? But that would be an amazing tour to see both of them. And if they did hook up, that would be an amazing set. But moving on. Judge Lynn Toller, ex-judge from TV's divorce court, shows off her flexibility. Like, for what? Moving on. Maybe she's trying to catch a young stud. She needs a young lad. Huh? Moving on. Bad Baby sued by American Express for over $640,000 unpaid charges she denies. Damn. Prayers out to the family of Big Boy from Outkast, as his uncle is unalived in the road rage shooting. Two facing charges. Prayers out to the whole family. Moving on. But last but not least, what do you think of the Clips' new album so far? And you know, so far it got me feeling like just like this. Well, I'm Third Degree. Let's get into the show. Peace.
Anyway, I'm your boy Third Degree, and that's been your Ratchet News. Enjoy the show.